Hey folks, here we are at another Sew Stream, and today we are going to be talking a little bit about hair products, whether or not you should grow it long or short, why you might do those things, how you keep it tame, I don't know, but hair in general. And the reason why we're talking about hair today is because I'm still debating whether or not I should grow my hair out long or keep it short like it is right now, and whether or not I should keep my bangs or fringe. I'm just not sure about any of this. So I'm welcoming all of your advice and your comments and what you all think as I make this very important decision for myself. But in the meantime, why don't I show you what I'm working on tonight? So I am sewing a slip. And if you were with me, what was it now? 3 weekends ago? Was it really that far away?
I don't know.
Or was it 2 weekends ago?
I think it was 2 weekends ago.
Okay, 2 weekends ago. Then we did our first ever Sew Long Sunday. And I just realized I was really hankering to do some hand stitching while I talked to you guys tonight. And I realized that I hadn't actually ever sewn on the trim on this wonderful little slip. So that is what I'm going to be working on tonight. Of course, we have Lawrence at the helm, as always. Everybody say hello to Lawrence and be sure to be kind to each other because he will kick you out if you are doing terrible things.
I am the security guard of the ages. Yeah. Hi, everyone.
So that's Lawrence. And you may have watched our Halfway Planet episode that came out, about an hour ago?
Yeah, getting on for that, yes.
So if you did, then you will know that Lawrence finally tried something very special. If you would like to see that video, I will be linking it at the end of the Sew Stream tonight. And you can go back and you can watch it if you haven't watched it yet. But stick with me for now because we're going to talk about all things hair. So like I said, let's start with the debate of long versus short. So, wow, I already have cabbage problems.
Cabbage?
Not cabbage. Cabbage is like extra fabric, but it's stuck there. So, Bob and art, really, if we were sewing this with the machine, but yeah. Stitch art, I suppose. Anyway, long versus short hair. And my biggest qualm about my hair as it gets longer every single time is that it starts to get longer and longer to do it, to get it curled in the evening or in the morning. And let's see, it took me, about 45 minutes to do this morning?
Yeah, probably. I don't keep time on your hair.
But of course, the thing is, even though it took me 45 minutes just to do the curling, it's not going to be able to come out until tomorrow. And then I'm going to have to shape it and I'm going to have to do all the other stuff in order to make it look vaguely attractive. And that, it takes work. I mean, if I have any other vintage gals out there with me tonight, holla, and you can let everyone know.
That's me hollering. I'm not a vintage girl.
You're also not a wolf from a Tex Avery cartoon, so.
I'll have you know, you're incorrect about that. Well, no, I won't go any further with this lie. Carry on.
But yeah, so it takes quite a long time, of course, and shout out to anybody who actually does do that every single day, because that's one of the reasons why I wanted to cut my hair short, is because I wanted to kind of maintain my vintage look without having to take an hour to an hour and a half every other day dealing with that. But I'm willing to give it a go because I miss my long hair. However, I'm, again, still not 100% sure if I'm really going to stick with it or if I really need to chop it all off again and continue on the path of wearing mostly 20s and 50s hairstyles, because that's what works best for super short hair like I had. I want to give you, before we go any further, a Halloween update. So as you know, if you've been following me on here for any length of time, I am working on my Halloween costume and Lawrence's Halloween costume, and they are not going well. Not because they're not going well, it's more because I'm procrastinating them.
Mamma mia.
because I don't know, like, I'm not feeling this project right now. Do you ever get like that where you start a project, you get really excited about it, you do the research, and then you're just like, I'd rather be hand sewing or whatever it might be. I'd rather be working on this as opposed to that. Well, that's where I am right now, but we have to get them done by next week for obvious reasons. And we have our Patreon thingy, Patreon assembly, I believe is the name of it, plus our Halloween party to go to next Saturday night, which means that they have to be done for sure by November 2nd, but that will be very sad if I can't get them done by October 31st. Right?
Yeah.
So
especially if you only get half of each costume done. So we've got like the shirts, but no trousers.
Well, that's what I'm wearing though.
Oh yeah. So it'd be me that'd be screwed.
Yeah. But I mean, no one will see your junk. It'll be fine.
Oh.
So yeah, if you don't know what we are going for as Halloween, Lawrence, of course, gave you a little bit of a hint there. We are going as 2 of the 4 people in ABBA. Ab, that's right. And he chose, because I gave him a few choices, the very iconic look of them in the kimonos with the platform shoes. So that is what I am working on right now. I've gotten a couple of patterns. I found a free kimono pattern that I really liked, and then like an obi belt pattern to go around your waist. And I'm at the stage now where the pattern is already printed out and I've taped it together with some painter's tape. Yay! But I'm going to have to do some substantial alterations to the pattern. So most likely what I'm going to have to do is transfer that using, like a little transfer roller onto some craft paper. And then I'm going to do my alterations from there. I've already had done the measurements for myself in order to be able to do that. I still need to get Lawrence's measurements down. But once those patterns are made and I've done like a mock-up to make sure that everything works appropriately, then it should be no trouble whatsoever to put these kimonos together. Now, will I actually have time to do the embroidery on them? Probably not. And that is just what it is. So it is what it is. Like I said, it's just a last minute thing that we kind of decided a couple weeks ago, and that's what I'm going to play with. But I'm still, I don't know, I'm not feeling it. Maybe once I've got, the correct pattern in place, then it's going to feel a little bit better to me. But until the patterning work is done, I'm just not there yet. So it is what it is. Yeah. Who we got tonight?
We got a lot of folks in the house. In fact, so many that I may not be able to list them all off. But most of you have asked some questions or put forth your suggestions for hair length. So we will get to those in a moment.
Oh,
but just want to touch on this. Sandra asks, are we going as Frita or Agneta, Bjorn, or the other guy, which is Benny? I'm going as the other guy.
Yeah, you're going as Benny, and I think I'm going as Agneta just because I have blonde hair right now. I mean, it only makes sense, right? So that's, I guess, we're almost the fictional cartoon characters of them as opposed to actually
Speak
them.
for yourself. I'm going all out. I'm method acting in this. It's going to be remarkable.
Oh, yeah, he's skipped a haircut, guys. He's serious.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to bring the guitar and everything. It's going to be, it'll be truly embarrassing for all concerned.
So yeah, let's go. Before we go any further with, the stuff I had planned, talk to me about some hair lengths. I'm interested to know what y'all think.
Sandra says that short is sassier, which is a pro. I agree. I do like that idea.
I do like being sassy.
Yeah. And I should say that Cassiopeia pointed out that the pumpkin looks great. Still looks good.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, it's dying on the inside, but aren't we all?
Literally dying on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's starting to fold in on itself already, and it's not even next week yet. So we'll see how long it stays. Because yeah, it's starting to turn, guys. It doesn't smell, so that's good, but it's not.
Not yet.
It's not looking great. But thank you. I'm glad that it looks good from your end because I was hoping it would for tonight. Yeah, just to keep the theme in order, right?
Deborah's hair, she says, is down past her waist, so she votes long. Are you going to go that long?
I love the idea. So here's usually the way that it typically rolls for me. I cut my hair really short. I love that because again, like the 20s to sort of 50s look for daily use makes sense to me. It doesn't take a lot of time, doesn't take a great amount of effort, but it looks really good and sassy. I love that word. And then it gets to about this time of year and I'm like, I really want to grow it long. And then I start looking at like Edwardian hairstyles or Victorian hairstyles. And I'm like, I really, really want to do those every single day. And then I, start growing my hair out and it gets to probably about here-ish. And I'm like, no, I'm done. And like the process just starts over again. So while I would love to actually carry out with the ambition to grow it as long as you have grown yours, it's highly unlikely no matter what happens, unfortunately for all of us. But there's always extensions, right? So
there you go. And there is some agreement over wet sets. This comes from Cassie, who says, yes, they are tedious, but they're the only thing that lasts for her.
Yeah, I mean, I like a good dry set if I am pressed for time, but you're right. Wet sets are the best.
And here's a question from Tartan Tabby. Can you get it thinned instead of cutting?
I could. I've considered that. I'm always afraid of that, though, because what if I decided that I wanted my hair thick again? Then what would it look like as it's growing out?
Well, your family has a lot of thick hair, doesn't it? Right throughout.
We do. We all have really thick hair. I don't know. It's really odd. But I don't know. I've never actually tried to get it thinned anywhere except I have, maybe this is TMI. I don't even know. But I have like hair that grows really far down on either side of my neck. And I will sometimes get that little part right there shaved just because it just comes down so far. It's almost like back hair in a way or something strange. But that's the only...
I've never noticed this.
It's because I sometimes get it shaved. But but yeah, that's the only time that I've ever considered like thinning my hair as such. Generally speaking, I don't even do layers because it usually, like if I blunt cut it, it looks best like that, so maybe I will consider that and then I'll grow it that way. We'll see.
Sue asks, how about to your shoulder or just at your shoulder? So easier to upkeep long hair. Do you have thick or thin hair? Well, obviously we did reference that just now.
So yeah, we have a thick hair situation going on here.
But yeah, how about shoulder length?
That would be probably where I would try to maintain it if I decide to grow it out again. Maybe a little bit longer than shoulder length. I don't know. Then, you can get into the kind of 40s. And you can start to play with the idea of like Victorian hair because of course, maybe we don't know this or not, but fun fact, the Victorians used probably more hair pieces than anyone else, in history until like, in the last maybe 20 years. So, and then even now en masse, I'm not sure that we use as many hair pieces, but I don't have a quantifiable answer for you. So that's just conjecture. Sorry, guys. But yeah, so Victorians love their hair pieces, which means that it would be okay if I decided to grow it out that long and not any longer, because I could always fake it.
Sue also says that she liked your chestnut hair because it made your eyes pop. And I was looking at pictures of you today with your brown hair. In fact, I used one, and you did, for your thumbnail.
I did.
The same one, actually, but we didn't know it.
We didn't. It's so weird.
Yes, it really is so strange.
How did that happen?
But that did suit you as well. I mean, they both do. I go back and forth.
I do like my auburn hair. That's one of the notes. So I definitely will continue to dye my hair in the future. I still am feeling the blonde, and I know that I'm at least going to get it one more time. But it is quite expensive to maintain unless you do it yourself. And we saw how that turned out before I actually went to a hairdresser. So I don't know if I want to continue doing it myself. However, I am open to dyeing my hair a different color again. I know that thanks to being a former teacher, I am a little bit premature gray. And so given that situation, thanks teaching, I most certainly am going to continue to dye my hair. It's just a question of what color. I've had it black before. I have obviously had it blonde. I had it red for a number of years, both kind of a bright orangey red and more of an auburn in recent years. So I'm open to suggestions. Again, it'll probably be another 6 or 7 weeks if I decide to transition it somewhere else. But you can tell me now what you think. And in terms of that, let's talk about our crafter of the week. Speaking of you guys, and our crafter of the week is Flicka1250 on Instagram. And the reason why is because she has done some really lovely journaling work. Now, you won't see that on her Instagram page because she shared those with me privately, but you will see a lovely little dolly that she made. And she also teaches doll making classes, which is pretty cool. So if she will allow you to, I don't know if it's actually a private account or not, but if it's not, then certainly feel free to follow her. And if nothing else, at least give her a shout out on Instagram. Again, that's Flicka1250. And I'm sure Lawrence will put that in the description for you, or the chat box.
Already done.
Great. So yeah, let's also talk about washing hair. Because again, I have really, really thick hair. And that's one of the reasons why it makes the most sense for me to keep it short. But man, do I love it long when it's actually like kept up. And so the other thing that I have noted now that I have gone blonde and actually committed to it is maintaining blonde hair is kind of a difficult thing to do. I mean, like, it's not impossible, but I do have extra steps in my daily and weekly routine that I've never had to encounter before with other dyes. And I just want to know what you guys do with your hair. Even if you don't dye it blonde, like what's your routine like? Because for me, what I'm having to do is I wash my hair with my regular shampoo every time that I shower, except once per week when I actually use a really special shampoo that was suggested to me by my hairdresser. And then I, of course, do like the purple conditioner thing. And then I also have to do like a protein, what do you call it? It's like see, this is all really new to me because, again, I have such thick hair and it's usually pretty healthy that I don't have to do any of this extra stuff, except now that it's been treated with the blonde dye, then yeah, I mean, it's just more intense. But I do like a protein treatment on it once a week as well, and it's just a lot. So tell me what you guys are up to when it comes to your hair routine, and whether or not yours is a little bit easier than mine or not. Like, what's your shtick on that? And then finally, the other thing that I wanted to mention is I'm toying with the idea of getting rid of these. I've had my bangs for years now, right?
Oh, it's been at least 42. You're not that old, are you?
Yeah, I'm not 42. Nor is Lawrence. So I don't know where you got that number from, but
Hitchhiker's Guide.
Yes, of course. But I am toying with the idea of changing that after a really long time, just because I keep on looking at other ladies' vintage styles and thinking about how much easier it might be to achieve some of the things that I would like to do with my hair if I didn't have these bangs in the way. And of course, they have like these really terrific, clip-on bangs now, or fringe, that look like your real hair, no matter what color it is. And that was not something that when I started out on this vintage journey, I guess, years ago, that was even a thing. You either had bangs or you didn't, and then you dealt with it the way that you were going to deal with it, So that's pretty cool. And I'm toying with the idea of getting some of those, but I'd like to know your opinion, because the thing about these is they're hiding a very short forehead. My forehead starts like right there, or stops right there. And again, I think it's that whole having so much extra hair thing. I just have a really like low hairline compared with most people. And I just wonder what I'm going to even look like, whether it's worth it to get rid of the fringe or if I should keep it and, carry on, as it were. So, Lawrence, have we got any comments, any questions?
We have. I just had to remove an individual for some strange comments that we will not repeat on here.
Unbelievable.
Yes, no worries though, because we do have some excellent comments from people here. A lot of it, in fact, I'm learning now about about how to do your hair and all of that. I just need to go back up because we got a few that came in, and I'm just trying to see here. Well, Cassiopeia says that she can't even curl her hair. It goes flat in minutes from how heavy it is from the thickness. I have the opposite problem, like trying to super straighten it. Not that I do that regularly, but it always messes up.
I have to coil my hair in order to get it to curl. I struggled for a number of years to try and figure out how that works. But the longer it goes, if you coil it, and for me, I either go between rags or pillow rollers as it gets really long. The longest I've ever had it as I like pin curled it regularly. And by regularly, I mean like maybe once a month because it was so heavy. It was just too much to do. Was probably about mid back. And what I would do is I would literally like wrap it all the way up and then tie it with a rag, and that would be the only way that it would work. Otherwise, it would just fall out again. And, you could do like hot rollers or whatever, but who wants to do that every day? So, yeah, it is what it is.
Deborah says, my hair has always been really dark, almost black. I just wash, condition, and air dry. Drying takes about 3 hours. Goodness.
That's, I envy you that you do not have any gray hair yet, because it's prevalent on me already, and it's only just a few like strands right in the middle, but they're right where I always part my hair, and so it's just a frustrating little mess.
I am glad you blame that on teaching, though, because most assume it's because you're married to me.
I mean,
hey, stop that. Don't encourage the rumors.
What else we got?
Loads. And I do apologize if I've missed any, because I may well have. There's a lot of conversation coming in tonight, so I'm just trying to keep up here. Let's see. Oh, this is good. And this lends sort of support to the shorter haircut. I think this is from Tinker Smith. I have a very short pixie cut and like to dye it burgundy when I have the money.
I love burgundy.
And then Shauna says, shampoo, blow dry a bit, then headband. My hair dries around the band and curls.
See, that's a good call. I've not tried that in a really long time. The first time that I tried it was years ago, and I didn't really like the way that my hair turned out. But now that I know a lot more about like how to maintain the curls and keep them styled for days, then I bet I'd be able to pull that off pretty easily. So I might try that if I grow it out. It's a good shout.
This one's amazing. This is from Sue, who says, I wash every couple of days, but old vintage clips tell girls to wash their hair every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I generally speaking will wash my hair every 2 to 3 days. Maybe 4 if I can get the curls to last that long, but usually not. It's usually 2 to 3 days. I do shower almost every day, but I will generally speaking put one of those caps on. Lawrence loves it. It like falls all over the bathroom. And it ends up in a different place every time I go in there, just because I think he's moved it out of the way. But I have a shower cap that looks like, everybody's granny's. And I use that every time. It's well insulated, so it's not going to have any water in it at all. And then, when it's time to wash my hair, it's time to wash my hair. So that's the way I do it too. Maybe not every 2 weeks, but I mean, you could definitely do that if you have the right setting.
We have some support on a couple of fronts here for ditching the bangs, as Sue puts it. And Mindy says that she had short forehead as well, and grew out the bangs several years ago, and so glad that she did. But it took a while for it to train not to fall forward all the time.
Interesting. How did you train yourself out of that? And also, if you're going to grow your bangs out, because it's been such a long time since I did that, how on earth am I supposed to make this look nice? Because I don't want to be the person who just like pins it to the side awkwardly, like I'm not a 16-year-old anymore. I'm not sure that would work for me. So give me your comments on that as well. Good shout. Let's also talk about, along those lines, talk about washing your hair and how often you do it, because I feel like I do it a reasonable amount of times per week. But in this very contemporary world in which we live, I know that that's also not something that most people even think would be an option, to wash your hair that little. So what are you guys' beliefs on that, and how do you feel about it? Let us know in the comments. And then while you're doing that, I wanted to let you know that the offer that I mentioned about Patreon last week is live. So if you go to my Patreon page, that's patreon.com/oldfashioned_AF, then you can become a $5 or more patron. And if you do that before, I believe it's November 15th is when I have put this out there, then I will send you a recipe card. And the recipe will be one that I developed based on some research I've done of Thanksgiving dishes. Now, this might be a recipe that comes from my own history, because I do have a few recipes that I will be showing as we progress into the autumnal season and into Thanksgiving and Christmas. Or it might just be a historic recipe that I have revamped based on some of the things that I have come up with and that might suit our tastes just a little bit better for the 21st century. So if, again, you'd like to join our merry little group of crafters, then that's oldfashionedaf.com that is my website, by the way, but patreon.com/oldfashioned_AF. And I am always so appreciative of any support that you give us here, so that I can continue on doing some research and creating fun content for you guys here on Instagram and other socials too. And of course, give me a shout out using #CraftyVintageLady. And one of you will hopefully be recognized in our next sew stream as well. So Lawrence, what are people saying about hair? Because I'm sure that there are way more comments and maybe some judgments.
Not at all. Not at all. Not right here. Sandra says, I wash and condition mine every other day and use an anti-frizz leave-in gel product.
Okay.
And Shauna says, I wash my hair every third day. Can't go longer than that. I have to say, I can't go longer than every other day, but that could be because I'm English.
I think it's just because you don't put as much product in your hair. When I curl my hair, I have a curling gel that I put into it, or it's really more of like a pomade that I put into it as I curl my hair. And then, of course, I generally will leave it in the state that it's in right now, which is to say a bunch of pin curls underneath, a scarf or something for at least 24 hours to let it set. And then after it's set, then I will take that out, brush it through, do my first style, and it will usually last for 2 to 3 days before I wash it again. So actually, the more I think about this, I do leave this in for a day. So maybe I wash it every 4th day.
And then
not thought of it that way before.
Absolutely. And we have a few more comments along these lines. Tartan Tabby says, I think it depends on your situation and hair type. I can go a weekish without washing and still pull it off.
That's very nice. Yeah, I definitely envy you that. And maybe, again, thinning my hair is the answer. We'll see. I will definitely talk to my hairdresser about that situation and what she thinks, because I feel like she would have some good advice on how to proceed here if I decide to go this route of growing all this out. Yeah.
We are down to 2 minutes remaining. We do have a few more comments. Do you want me to go through those?
Before you do so, the last thing that you will hear from me is a big thank you to everyone who has shared my videos and our sew streams so far, because of course after a sew stream it becomes a video. And Halfway Planet, I know that Halfway Planet keeps getting views and likes, even though we never do anything on that on Facebook. I just keep getting the notifications. And yeah, we've got 500 subscribers on here. Actually, what's the real number now?
We have 526.
Hey, oh, yeah. So yeah, we're growing like gangbusters around these parts. And as a result, I did promise you way back when that I would have a bonus sew stream. So that will be happening this Sunday at 2 p.m. Central Time. And I hope that you all can make it.
And a late hello to Julie, who's just joined us with a minute to go. But of course, Julie and anyone else that's joining this live stream late in the day can watch it back as ever. We do have about 30 seconds remaining.
Hey.
we can always address other comments offline. Do you have any closing words tonight?
Not much. Just thank you very much again for everything. And be sure to, again, go to the Patreon page. And if you'd like one of those lovely recipe cards from me, then you can get one by becoming a patron. And yeah, give me a couple just for giggles.
All right,
why not?
So Sue votes that you grow out to shoulder length, no bangs, no thinning, and auburn color.
All right. That sounds like what I used to have, Sue. So maybe you've been looking at my old pictures recently. I don't know. Anything else?
And let's see. Well, we'll go with
what
Donna.
Can we go out on?
We've got a comment here from Donna who we've not yet responded to, so I think that makes sense. And Donna says, long, straight, parted in the middle, I wish was... I wash every third shower, cover my graying blonde hair with a soft copper color, and once a month I use olive oil rinse with lemon.
Very nice. Yeah, that's similar to me. I like the argan oil a lot. Argan oil, just the smell of it makes me so happy, but I like using olive oil and almond oil as well. So there we are.
And I should say there is some support for Sue's suggestion for your hair from both Cassiopeia and Shauna.
All right. Well, I will continue to think about it, but thank you very much for all of your input today. It sounds like it's been a very lively group, and I cannot wait to read over all of the comments in the next few days. And that is that. So again, have a wonderful evening, friends. Thank you for everything, and I will see you on Sunday at 2 p.m. Central Time.
Bye.
Bye.